Growing two different plants in the same container can be challenging but not impossible, as I have experienced with my porcelain and coleus combination. And in today's video, I'll share my simple tips and tricks for their successful growth. So stay tuned and welcome back. And both of these plants come in different shades, colors and varieties. Here you can see this is porcelain tangerine. It also comes in yellow and pink shades, whereas coleus also comes in different shades and varieties. Here is coleus fishnet stockings, which grows vertically and comparatively a bit taller than the other varieties of coleus. And also they have similar light and soil requirements, which make them compatible planting companions, and they are the easiest plants to grow from cuttings. All you need to do is just get some cuttings, remove the lower leaves, put them straight back into the soil, and your new plants will be ready in a couple of days. First of all, it is important to select the right coleus variety which can go along with purslane, since purslane loves full sun. And I would say 5 to 6 hours of daily sunlight is required for purslane to bloom. And that is why I selected coleus fishnet stockings, which also requires 5 to 6 hours of daily sunlight. So remember, if you are growing them together, make sure get the coleus variety which also loves a lot of sun. Or in case you are growing any other variety which prefers to be in shade, then find a location where your purslane can receive a lot of sunlight, whereas coleus can be kept in shade. While growing these two plants together in a container, it is important to select the right kind of potting soil and right kind of container. Make sure whichever container you choose, it should be appropriate, large enough to accommodate both the plants. And second thing is potting mix. So when planting these two plants together, it is important to choose a right potting mix that is rich in organic matter and drains well. You can use soil amendments to make your potting mix more porous and more well draining. And I always use extra perlite and orchid bark to my potting mix to make it well draining. Perlite helps with the drainage. It does not allow the excess water to stay in the soil for a long time. And right container is also important. Like you can see here, I planted these two plants in an 18-inch flowering basket in mid-July, and within a month porcelain had covered up the whole basket. And I think because of its vigorous growth, these plants are considered as weed suppressors, or where you grow these plants, you would hardly see any weed. They can kill or they would not allow to grow them easily. Of course, watering can be challenging while growing these two plants together, as coleus needs more water than purslane. You can see purslane has thick and fleshy leaves which hold water. So I would suggest while planting, right after planting these plants, give them a thorough watering. Allow the excess water drain out from the bottom, and then when you next time water your plant, check the soil before watering it. In summers especially, I used to water my plants once in every alternate days, while as fall has arrived, so I have cut down to watering, and now I'm just watering them twice in a week. Also, coleus plants are pretty expressive. If they droop down their leaves, it means they are thirsty. You can water your coleus, or you can spray around the leaves, which will keep them hydrated for long time. Also, as long as you are using a well draining soil, watering cannot be an issue. But remember, do not overwater your plants, as it can lead to root rot and you might kill your plants by overwatering. And for fertilizing, I would say they are really not heavy feeders. So as long as you are using a good compost while planting them, that would be great. And afterwards, you can feed them with any balanced liquid fertilizer once in a month from spring until fall. You can see here my plants are blooming, my purslane is blooming, and I used liquid fertilizer to feed these plants. And also keep in mind that over fertilizing coleus might burn their leaves, and for purslane, if you over fertilize them, you might end up having no blooms. Just be gentle on these plants. Whichever mild, organic or liquid fertilizer you have at home, just feed them once in a month. That's it. It will do the job. Pruning and deadheading is really required for both the plants. If your purslane is not growing, it's not blooming, it's not becoming bushier, then pruning is required. And if your coleus has become leggy, in that case also you need to cut down the stems so that the plant will focus its energy on growing new branches, new leaves, and you can grow new plants with those cuttings. In case your coleus is producing more flowers, then cut them off, because producing flowers is an indication your plant is trying to give you that it's going to stop its life cycle. So when you cut off these flowers, so what happens is that your plant starts to focus its energy in growing new branches, new leaves. Deadheading means removing the spent flowers. It is also important for purslane. If you want them to have more blooms, remove the dead flowers. You can see, just pinch these dead flowers off. When you remove the dead flowers, it encourages your plant to produce more blooms and new buds. So generally these plants are pest free, but purslanes are susceptible to mealybugs. If you see any mealybug or any other insect attacking your plants, then use neem oil, dilute it with water, add 1 or 2 drops of dish soap and spray around your leaves. It will help your plants to be pest free, and repeat the same if needed. And at last, I would say avoid overwatering, give them full sun, and use a well draining soil. So, by following these three things, you can grow both of them together in a container and can enjoy the blooms of purslane and colorful foliage of coleus together all year long. Especially if you are in a tropical climate, then definitely you can enjoy their blooms all year long. But if you are in a cooler climates where the temperature does not, or the climate does not support these plants, they are treated as annuals, but you can consider them bringing indoors before the first frost to save them for the following year. And at last, I would say thank you so much for watching this video. If this video was helpful to you, then give it a like, share and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, stay happy and happy planting.